right now, and here's an early coalescence, and this is how the fights get started. Gangnam Jin lets it go from the back line and is able to keep Fate topped up, and Space will be desuited early on in the fight. This is where BQB starts to hurt a little bit more, and those offensive biotic orbs can actually get the job done.
Yeah, and Shaz ends up burning that coalescence that he earns towards the end, where you didn't really have a good...
Now looking for an opportunity to set this EMP up properly, but Kempster's going to be first. It's combined with the self-destruct here. Gargoyle able to get back in the mech, and there's a death blossom from BQB, but no one really affected by it here. There's still a mech up for Gargoyle, so most of that damage is shut down by the defense matrix. The trade comes in, and Birdring is falling. See what can be done in his absence.
Well, Yaki's going to use the EMP here, as he still have Birdring and Yaki on the point. Gargoyle there as well, as the Florida Mayhem, they'll be able to win this in the end. They hold
one of his own. That's at least going to keep the Gladiators in the fight for now. But now the Collises are gone. Birdring global BQB fight 3 with the Death Blossom, and the Gladiators hadn't a response to it. Couldn't get any burst healing from any coalescence. That was already off the table. Good work there by BQB just to hold on for that moment in the Florida Mayhem. It's a convincing first round here. The Gladiators look a bit sluggish to start.
Yeah, so they try and use this. If they ever see this, so you can take a look from BQB's perspective. Yep, as soon as that self-destruct comes out, the Death Blossom comes through.
Of course, that
there's any reason until the Gladiators prove they can beat this type of composition that they switch. The Gladiators, they lose OG right away, so this is going to be Florida getting control of that first point.
The Gladiators got 2 kills in that last round, and, well, still don't have any in the second one, so Florida Mayhem way ahead. All right, 42% and counting now. Yaki goes for the EMP, but only really catches Chaz, who didn't have a coalescence anyway. Big Goose is still able to get a sound barrier, so the Gladiators are not affected by that whatsoever. It's a manual hack on Goose after it rips away the overshield. The Gladiators completely unperturbed by that. They're able to push out to the point now, but they don't have to spend much at all themselves. This is a big turning point.
Oh, absolutely. If you're Florida, you try and strike now with no Diva mech from space, and that's what you're going to do. You're going to just speed boost right into the Winston. There's no defense matrix to help OG there. You see space still not in mech. And that kind of hurts. You'll give up the point here for the Gladiators, but you get up to 90%. One fight is all you need for the Gladiators to tie this up.
And the Mayhem are 99% now. The Gladiators try and move to the point, desperately to retake it, but the Mayhem can move in numbers. Space DMX, Big Goose in deep trouble, forced to back away, try and bait an environmental kill opportunity, but no one from the Mayhem biting. Across the point comes the coalescence from Gangnam Jin, and the Gladiators are in deep trouble. They are floundering, and Fate goes for an environmental kill of his own, but Yaki steals it, and that is map number 1. Convincingly move in here, but they are going to have to stand their ground and fight for the point. OG uses the jump mostly just for information and some time away from the scrutiny of his opponents, but that's enough time for Florida to move through and get rid of Kester. Now the disruption of Sombra is unavailable to the Gladiators, they find the rest of them fall over, and Yaki benefits from extra time to generate his EMP, which likely will come first.
Yeah, what's really hurting the Gladiators in these fights is like mid-fight.
Yaki gets an EMP on towards OG, especially making it hard for him. There's still going to be a sound barrier in play for the Gladiators here, but Space is demeched already. Fate has Primal Rage, but he's hit with a hack, so can't do too much leaping and jumping about. But BQB is boots on the ground, doing the dirty work. And again, the Gladiators are going to be forced back. Birdring will be staggered.
Yeah, it's a huge EMP from Yaki at the beginning of that, so...
By Yaki's EMP, that hits 4 plays for the Gladiators, and again, Birdring gets manually hacked after the fact. He can't escape, he can only press W. Space is taken down, his mech and himself has been removed, and BQB's ready with a Death Blossom. Good timing on the EMP to prevent BQB's ultimate, but both teams in sound barriers now, and BQB might want to go forward and hit that Q key. In fact, no, he doesn't need to.
Yeah, you don't even need it. And these fights, they go on for so long.
Hollywood. If he can get a large EMP, he goes for it now. It's going to be Space affected by that one. He just stands out in the open trying to get healed up by the coalescence, but it's just not going to be enough. There's that Death Blossom from BQB, and it hits Big Goose and Kester right where it hurts for the Gladiators. And Fate will just keep Birdring out of the fight for now. He also has a Death Blossom of his own, but he's not in a great position to use it. And OG's left out at sea. Birdring tries, gets 1, but that's all he's going to have. Big Goose is pushed away from the point, but Kester's still able to secure overtime just for a fleeting moment though. Space is denied entry, he's forced back, hacked, and that will be the round. 81.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gangnam Jin at 95, 96% now.
Oh, they get Kevster.
Kevster taken down at the start of the fight, and Gangnam Jin sitting at a safe distance, healing and damage in equal measure. In the Florida Mayhem just wash over the top of the Gladiators like an absolute tsunami. And that will be it. The Gladiators at least have space on the high ground to try and stall things out somewhat, but they're at 67.6% and they're counting. And already a blink of an eye. 2 maps to 0 for the Mayhem and the Gladiators.
Try and get these hacks off. They get a hack on a mirror this time. I was going to say they could use the bubbles, but hack on a mirror, you don't have a bubble. They kill Shaz right away.
I mean, you are now playing with a team composition that features a less mobile and more fragile backline in many senses, right? Before you're playing Lucy and Moira, so getting away from a Sombra or a Reaper isn't denying himself like a good line of sight, but the Mayhem were trying to play close around corners. Here's an EMP, Amira gets caught in the middle of it, he does get given a nano boost, but he's manually hacked after the EMP. Still he can't be taken down, he's charged up, now he has both his barriers available, and he is absolutely spewing damage into the Mayhem.
Yeah, this is a much better look from the Gladiators. One or two really good pushes left for the Gladiators.
So preemptive coalescence there from Gangnam Jin. Amira gets ruined. It's unclear. It looks like Yaki might have manually hacked the Zarya there just to make sure Amira would have a really tough time. But that is huge. That's a graviton surge for Amira gone to waste. And I think the Gladiators realize they have to try and double down here. As soon as Mira's brought back into the fight, though, they lose space. BQB is on a running riot, going from one tank to the other like that Grim Reaper and all the doors gift. He has removed some of the beefiest targets on the Gladiators. Amira's going to go down for the second time.
Everything thrown in there, though, by the Gladiators. And then you get nothing. As this is what I was...
Do we hack bomb? Oh, we get shielded to prevent the hack? That's very clever from Mira.
Yeah, they're trying to get a tick on the point, at least, with Bob. That'll be an EMP from Kevser, as Mira now all charged up, as they're trying to keep Fate alive to use the Primal, not able to do so.
But Bella, Mira, now it's going to be the self-destruct. Mira got a good charge there because that bomb shield had to be burst down to get the hack on him in the first place. Soundberry now goes over to a couple of players. BQB instantly gets caught, and Mira is at 90 charge. Space's whole hold cleans Chris up, and it is a hack attempt, an EMP on Mira, but he doesn't care. He got all the energy that he needed to. Now he's going to put it to good use. Yaki is removed, and yeah, the Primal Rage isn't going to keep Fate alive much longer at all. It's Wrecking Ball stall for Gargoyle, but he once again returns to the periphery. And the Gladiator, oh, that's playing on high ping, but oh wow, who would have thought that they would finish the round after? Yeah, well, I mean, there it is. Health as they approach. Okay, they don't wrap all the way around. That's a pretty. This is not very subtle, but the hack on space is perfect. He can't take a breather to stay alive any longer, and he's burst down instantly. The trade's there. Gargoyle trying to rally the rest of the Mayhem to deal with the Zarya of Mira, who's getting more and more charged up, and the fight continues now. And space is brought back in. A long fight seems to benefit the Gladiators, who have a Mercy in tow, and a Zarya that's getting very nasty.
I was going to say...
Okay, Fate's very low. This is forced the coalescence here from Gangnam Jin. Okay, Nanabu's on towards space, but Mira is very charged up and has a graviton surge here. Everything's going right for the Gladiators here. They are playing this well. And now space will go look for a clean up. Birdering, that is just stylish. We love to see a bit of that action.
This looks like a completely different team here on this map, being able to take advantage of the fact that
the Gladiator set up his well. Yes, it's Mira. They get the EMP. No bubbles for Zarya, and they get rid of him instantly. He also had a graviton surge, and that's just not going to be a factor unless there can be a resurrect from Big Goose, and he gets him back into the fight. Big Valkyrie from the Goose, and this fight might be turning around. Shaz finally succumbs to the Primal Rage here, but Space is going to take a breather. Self-destruct over the top, and Kevster is down. Space is forced to retreat now inside this building with the rest of his team. But the Gladiators still have numbers to work with. Yaki is taken down, almost as if he was revealed in midair. Space gets a close-range scrap gun shot and gets rid of him. Now Mira's back with 90 charge, but needs to be careful. He's not infallible, he's not invulnerable, and looks like Gargoyle wants to prove it.
It's just look how deep they have to go to get rid of this.
Exception of the Roadhog, when Space got hacked, had to get a nano boost immediately to keep him alive, and that's perfect! Gangnam Jin can't fade away while he's in coalescence, but will it be enough? Gargoyle's self-destruct only claims Birdering, and Space and Mira able to stand tall on the point. Forced rate walk here from BQB. Mira steps back, grabs the point, just to make sure.
That's exactly what you wanted, though, if you're the Florida Mayhem.
But gets you pretty close. Sees that sound barrier now for the Mayhem. Gargoyle apparently didn't really benefit from it at all. No one really bothering Birdwing right now, and Bob's doing good work on the point, but Kepster and Space have gone down. BQB starting to fire up a little bit here, but they need to deal with his vantage point. And BQB won't get the teleport off. Headshot before it gets there, but Mirror and Big Goose are missing now. Yaki steps up in BQB's absence, and Birdwing is forced out of line of sight. He doesn't have a safe angle right now, but here come the reinforcements for the Gladiators with Shaz off the table, though there isn't going to be much healing for the vestiges of this Gladiators team. Space tries to step up, take a breather, but he's not given enough space, and that Zarya bubble won't last for long on Kester. Here's an EMP. Mirror, no more shielding for him. Manually hacked up the EMP just to be certain that the Zarya won't be lighting anyone up. 13 seconds remain in the round with the Florida Mayhem come up with the goods and secure themselves extra innings.
Below him. Oh, Big Goose gotta be so careful.
Fate goes down early though, so that's Space combining. And things are going pretty wrong for the Florida Mayhem here, Matthew. I mean, this composition relies on BQB getting a pick, but it is a correct and very astute observation the Gladiators make. They play inside the small room on point, the bunker. The Mayhem cannot find an opportunity. Exactly what was required of the Los Angeles Gladiators in a dire moment. And they, right now, look to be holding on. Getting the full hold here in extra innings.
Yeah, Fate will get a touch. Doesn't really amount to much of anything as here comes Gargoyle flying in over the top. He'll be dealt with quickly. But Space able to get that first blood, just a hook right around the corner. For a second, I was a bit scared we were watching from BQB. It looked like potentially he was going to take a Big Goose at the start, which would have been disastrous for the Gladiators. But you know, the stallers just keep coming in. No real threats here. Is everybody just kind of has to trickle out on the point one by one.
This is a big deal for the Gladiators now. I mean, they get to go on the attack, and they're going to have an extra 40 seconds to work with. That's a big deal. It's an extra team fight, which means, yeah, this pretty safe position to play from now. They have high ground and low ground, and oh my, that was a good timing on the bubble, but a bionic grenade from Shaz. The boy don't miss. No chance for Gargoyle to heal back up, but we have a 2v2 in the fight. Mira actually goes down to the Dynamite, and Space needs to open up an opportunity. There goes a Resurrect opportunity now with the Mercy off the table. But Yaki and BQB are able to strike.
Absolutely crazy here to be able to even give them a chance to fight this again. Oh. BQB with a headshot on the Kebster. As you have the reinforcements coming back now for the Florida Mayhem.
I can see the draw. Matthew Mirror goes down. BQB removes him now. Big Goose can't get away from the Dynamite. Bob used here. And BQB can sit safely back at the point. That hook did connect, but Yaki was able to break the chain by ducking around the corner to the left. And a Transcendence now for Gangnam Jin secures it here. There's also that fact to consider. Genji's strength is his mobility, and he doesn't have that when the EMPs come in. Space Force back here. Yaki getting some deflect action in. And Mirror's already gone down here. Now the cleanup can ensue, and maybe that's it. A little bit, you know, safer way to pressure the Mercy when they try to go for Resurrects here, but this is something you could do with a Tracer just as easily. To prove the haters wrong. Gungan's gonna play back. So here's a mana boost. So yeah, paired with the Dragon Blade, Yaki can get a lot more done with this now. By a lot more, I mean just killing more people rather effortlessly.
A lot of, yeah, that was...
Given the space needed to get away. He's hacked, but he actually doesn't need his jump hack there inside that small room. He was able to get away from the whole hog anyway. The rest of his team not faring nearly as well, though. Kepta has gone down. The last couple swings of the Primal Rage Fist's able to claim him. And Shaz, yeah, no shielding. He's a sitting duck for BQB to pick off. Mirror is able to get through that shield for the most part. Space is bursting through. The scrap gun gets to both supports. The Florida Mayhem now looks like this setup's on its last legs.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, BQB will try and get him low. You do have a touch here as Florida trying to make this interesting, but, I mean, barring a massive collapse, the Gladiators should be able to get this.
The Yaki resurrects while the space has been created. That is literally a zoning self-destruct. Space up with the whole hog, and yes, the entirety of the defense matrix won't be enough to cancel that ability out. So the Mayhem, they burn a little bit more clock, Matthew. They get the, you know, pretty much into overtime. Now Florida might have to make a couple changes. Sort of goes to waste without a big body to benefit from it. So it brings Space back into the fight, but here's a nano boosted blade. Yaki, he's found his target. This will force the Transcendence from Shaz. The question is if he can get anything else. Oh, he got nano boosted and damage boosted. Birdwing gets blown up inside the Transcendence, and BQB's brought back into the fight. The card's getting pretty close to the point now, but now the Gladiators are forced to back away. There's only 16 seconds left. Shaz is removed Fate with Primal Rage now was just doing some scouting as the Gladiators group for one last push.
You still have space here. It's close to the cart. He may be at the one that's not anymore. That'll be a Biotic Grenade. Connects with him. No, take a breather health. That'll be the grab that comes through from Mirror. As you see the grab, you were never able to get a good use of it because the Florida Mayhem did a nice job of not being baited to the low ground.
No one there really now. Kevster has been removed. Shaz fades away from the carts. We won't be returning. Big Goose swings in from the top rope. It is sent packing stage right. And there it is. The Mayhem are able to hold the Gladiators off. And that must have been Mayhem. He's close to a self-destruct. Valkyrie for Chris here, but the whole hunt for Miro is going to push back. And Gangnam Din's taken down by Kevster. The burst ceiling is gone from the Florida Mayhem. And now the Gladiators come back into the fight. Blade for Yaki unassisted. And the self-destruct claims Miro. That's a huge target. Fake gets brought back into the fight now. And Big Goose attempts to resurrect right next to the cart, but he is spotted instantly. And that's punished. The Mayhem flipped the fight around awfully quick. Getting a kill with that self-destruct on a target like Roadhog. What a huge pick.
The self-destruct there, so the Blade gets one, the self-destruct gets one.
Not finding any big kills. Space being decentered is gargantuan here. If Yaki can get rid of the Diva, that would be massive.
You got a ton of value out of that Nano Primal Rage though. Just look how much space has brought the cart. We're almost at the end of the map here. Now a Blade could end it.
That Bionic Grenade from Gangnam Jin basically just won the series there and then, Matthew. There was no way Mira could recover from that kind of scrutiny. And the Blade from Yaki gets rid of space. Big Goose has no choice but to try and go for something akin to a Resurrect, but looks like there's no bodies left. And the Florida Mayhem seal the deal, and they booked their ticket to the next round.